Thank you, Anuj. Thank you, Mr. Batra, for calling me over here. I think what is actually happened is the fact that we are living still, Anuj, in the yesterday world. All the other fields of industry have moved into the present and in the future. So if let's talk about every aspect of business which is there in this country. So whether it's IT, whether it's telecom, whether it's aviation, whether it's manufacturing, they've all moved on. So today if you go to Delhi, nobody thinks of going by train simply because you catch a low-cost airline and you travel by the train. My driver speaks to his wife or whoever in Bihar at less than 1 rupee a minute. And he has a phone which is costs 2,000 rupees. I have a phone which costs 61,000 rupees. But for communication, his phone is as good as mine when I have taken it once in a while. I don't find any issue in terms of doing it. In every segment, automobiles, you have a Mercedes on one side or a Bentley on one side, but you also have the Marutis and the others on the other. In the housing segment, the poor live in jhoppadpattis. 55% of Mumbai live in jhoppadpattis. So what has really gone wrong is that the government and the industry together have actually failed to provide that segment of construction which is huge, big, possible to do and not delivered. So let me tell you that more than half the people living in jhoppadpattis could have afforded the house built properly and structurally, because today they don't get a loan, they don't get ownership, everything is informal and really the titles are questionable as far as mortgaging or inheriting or other things like that. And there's no liquidity in terms of assets and no asset creation. So you have really destroyed the wealth of the country by not giving housing to the poor. It's possible to do the housing because every country in the world has done it. And even the richest city in Mumbai has deprived the poor and the people at that segment of society. So we are actually functioning in a small triangle of opportunity when the triangle is actually should be so big. Exceptions, of course, prove the rule. But having said what we have, I think the next 10 years with Mr. Modi's leadership and the direction and things which he's talking, if the executives, if the politicians at the grassroots level and the bureaucracy can actually put their act together, you're going to see a paradigm shift. And 2% to 3% of the 9% growth in China was only real estate. So, if India can do it, not only will you get housing for all and affordable housing for all, but you'll see economic growth and driver, the multiplier effect on industry going to take place in a huge way. The question is, we don't see, as Mr. Batra said, the rollout happening as fast as the talk at the top. So there is a gap between the intent at the top, the declared desire to achieve it in 8 years, and actually the rollout on the ground, multiplicity, we find there is a very, very large gap, and until that gap is not filled, we're not going to be as successful in real estate, affordable, as we have done in telecom, or in aviation, or in manufacturing, or in other fields of industry.
Niranjan, just very quickly continuing with that, do you think there is any event which is going to revive the real estate sector, or we are in this long drawn stage where it is going to take us many quarters for us to come out of the current dilemma where the real estate sector is?
So if we can achieve the deliverables as far as this is concerned, the second part is, are we making the deliverables as to what the market needs? So if you have a large quantity of production which is going to be put in, are we going to make the sizes of houses, the pricing of houses, and the affordability of that context? If you can fit the bill of being able to see that the deliverables are on the basis of that, there is of course another rider which I'd like to add, which is that infrastructure is needed. So what Mr. Modi is talking about in terms of smart cities, in terms of infrastructure of readiness cities, in terms of roads, metro, highways, water, ports, connectivity, If you can combine these two activities, then whatever is the segment of problems in the real estate will disappear completely. And the volumes will increase tremendously. And the biggest companies in India will not be producing luxury houses. The biggest companies in India and the richest companies in India will be in low-cost construction if that paradigm change takes place. The question is, how fast, how quickly is that going to roll out is still a question mark.
Would you say it will be sort of 2-3 years, longer, shorter?
It can be done in a couple of months if they want to. Right? It's not a problem at all because it's only a question of policy measures. I'll give you one small example. Service tax. I'm a person who buys, I buy a ready-made house which has got occupation certificate. I pay 0 service tax. If I'm a person who can't afford to buy a house ready when it's occupied and I buy by installment, I pay 5% service tax. It's a top of the line payment. It's unbelievable. So the poor actually pay service tax. The persons who can afford do not. I mean, there's only one. Hundreds of such damn things happen in the city. So you have taxes which are disproportionate. The amount of charges on the top of the table and under the table have increased disproportionately. So all this talk about corruption going away, at least as far as I can see, is nonsense. It's still there. In fact, I would like a change of description if the Realty is going to make this change, that corruption has already ended in the country. It's now extortion. So you should say, please stop the extortion in this industry because corruption has gone away. See, they've all eliminated corruption. But the extortion which is taking place has gone so high, it's unbelievable. So I think we need to remove extortion of this industry which is taking place, both official and unofficial. So the government of the day, the taxes of the day is official extortion. It's wrongly put on the poor and people of the affordable sector. And the unofficial extortion which is taking place also needs to be eliminated. So both the sides, I think we have a long way to go. But it can happen quickly.
It can happen quickly.
Yes.
That is heartening to know.
Oh yes, it can.